Now, regarding distance and defense, we've already covered that stick fencing entails significant concerns about lead hand safety, but it also entails the safety concerns. It also includes heavy concerns about the safety of the lower limbs. So now we're going to see Orange is going to parry on the same spot without stepping back. And should he do that and swiftly follow through with a counterattack, this will be very fast and difficult for Blue to parry. But this calls for the parry to be successful. Should one fail to do so, then one actually ends up getting hit before going in for that swift and fast counterattack. In this example, Orange gets hit on the thigh, but he could have gotten hit either on the knee or on the lead hand. Okay? And so therefore this generates the first principle, our first principle pertaining defense, which is that we look to distance ourselves from our opponents as we get attacked, because we view combat as being a trapeze artist without a safety net. We only have one life to give, and should we fall into one extreme, then we on purpose look to fall into the extreme of being excessively careful instead of being excessively careless. Okay? And so, from this principle of looking to exit, let's look at how to sidestep. And this will entail analyzing which leg to move, how to manage one's weight, analyzing countering strategies, and also understanding how speed affects this situation. And so, first, should one sidestep with the back leg? No, never, because by doing so, the lead leg is kept on the same spot, and should one's parry fail, one gets hit on the lead leg immediately. Therefore, first principle, one needs to sidestep with the lead leg, as doing so allows for the fighter to step both to the side and also slightly backwards. And by finishing the step with the weight placed here on the outside leg, the one that moved, one is able to very swiftly follow through the first step with a second and third, as many steps as needed in order to move away from a cornered situation. Now we're going to observe the same side step to the forehand side, performed with a parry on the forehand side. But now let's assume that the black is actually cornered on the forehand side, is actually cornered on this side, and he needs to move to the backhand side. How should he go about doing that? One strategy that was initially developed was the following. The fighter, ends up stepping back with the lead leg, as we've already covered, but he places the weight on the inner leg so that because he's focusing on parrying with the hands on the forehand side, and he wants to ensure that the parry is stable. However, doing so does ensure that the parry is stable, but in order to follow through with additional steps to the side, this is ineffective, because one is forced to first move the weight to the opposite leg before eventually being able to step to the side with a second step. And so in time this was deemed ineffective, and it was replaced with this alternative. So just as before, the side step was performed with the lead leg, and just as before, the weight is placed at the end on that outer leg that moved to the side. And so instead of conforming the step to fit the parry, it's the parry that needs to conform to the step. And in practical terms, this means that when sidestepping to the forehand side, one needs to parry with the hands and with the grip and weapon placed on the forehand side. When sidestepping to the backhand side, one needs to parry with the hands and grip placed on the backhand side. Instead of using the side steps just to move away from a cornered situation, one can also do so in order to avoid a strike and then build a counterattack. One can do so by simply avoiding the first attack altogether. Okay, and so here, the side step, the avoidance, and the counterattack. As we've already covered, since the side step entails also a distancing action, from here, the defender needs to reapproach in order to be able to reach the attacker and have at least the potential to be effective with the counterattack. And the same thing happens should the defender actually parry. He's parrying, but he's also sidestepping and moving back. And so from this same distance, he needs to be able to reapproach swiftly with a counterattack. And such combination is ensured by stepping to the side with one leg and then moving in with the opposite leg in order to attain greater movement flow. However, despite the well-meaning development of all these sidestepping strategies, with time, Jogo do Pau practice and performance became faster and faster for several reasons, including one of them being better training methods. And here we're going to blue is going to strike from the shoulder in order to simulate a very fast attack. And as you can see, as you increase combat speed, and in this the defender in this case orange, stops having enough time to perform a sidestep. And this means that sidesteps in Jogo do Pau eventually became obsolete, and were preserved a little bit out of historical respect for the art, for the past, and a little bit as a last resort to use when in a cornered situation. But sidesteps stopped being used as a tool in order to build a counterattack from.